We become the United States of kleptocracy is what we have. The latest here from the Biden crime family. And I'm going to be straight up honest with it. We're going to talk about the Biden crime family right now. But this is not a donkey elephant, mutually exclusive donkey concept, because both parties, politicians are guilty of this. I loathe, when these people pat themselves on the back. They call themselves public servants. Serving who? You're not public servant. You're serving yourself. That's exactly what you're doing. You're becoming. And again, for the life of me, I don't understand why people don't get more angered by this. These people that supposedly are supposed to be serving us, the public, and this public trust, and end up enriching themselves to the tune of millions upon millions and millions of dollars, and disgusting, corrupt ways. Again, the latest here from the Biden crime family, again, having to do with Burisma and Hunter Biden getting his daddy on the phone when he's vice president to speak with the people from Burisma and take care of this. And again, you want a little context on the latest that came out. There was actually a speakerphone call that Hunter had with his buddy Devin Archer, and the Burisma folks got daddy on the phone saying that Burisma and the people running Burisma, they need the support. They need our support right now. So 3 days after this phone call, Joe Biden, who was the point man on Ukraine, was to fly over to Kiev to give a speech to their parliament on the poison of cronyism, corruption, and kleptocracy, which is rich. I mean, we go over and we give these lectures to these countries, and what do you think that they're thinking? They're like, who the hell are you guys? You're just as bad, if not worse, and we are here. And that's the reality of the situation. Again, the Ukrainian prosecutor at the time, this Viktor Shokin, who was going after Burisma for corruption, was fired. He had just seized land and assets and a Rolls Royce, who from the head of Burisma, who was actually living in exile in Dubai. A month later, after Joe made a phone call, the prosecutor was fired because Biden threatened to withhold $1 billion in aid to Ukraine. And he actually bragged about it. What did he say? He said, I looked at them and said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor is not fired, you're not getting the money. Biden was bragging about this to the Council on Foreign Relations. Well, son of a bitch, he got fired. Again, and you can keep reading into this and some of the other phone calls, many phone calls that were made. Hunter calling daddy up and getting political pressure to push deals. And many people in this country, they just kind of have unfortunately accepted this as this is the way it is. This is the way it is, and you can't fight City Hall, you can't fight the universe. And I've mentioned this before here on the program. I loathe to talk about these things here because, again, it just upsets me. It ruins my day in many respects. It really does, because I get embarrassed for our country because I expect more. We should expect more out of the people. And again, it doesn't matter if they're a donkey. It doesn't matter if they're elephant. Bid rigging, political pressure. You're supposed to go and serve. You're supposed to go and serve and then go back home and don't get a real job. And you shouldn't, by any stretch of the imagination, be enriching yourself due to your time in public office in any way, shape, matter, or form at all. And right now in this country, quite frankly, it's gone off the deep end. And again, this is how business needs to be done. This is going to hamper growth here in this country simply because people are going to look at this as saying, gee whiz, there's actual risk. I'm going to have to start playing that game of paying people off, influencing politicians in order to get things done. And that's not how we became this country. Oh, sure, it's always existed in some way, shape, manner, form, especially in local politics, and we all know organized crime. But again, when the people leading the country are resembling, people that we hear about in mob stories, bid rigging stories, again, at some point in time, people, that should give us some pause and decide to make better choices. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.